Where should you stay when you are vacationing in Tulum? In this video, I'm sharing with you a neighborhood breakdown so that you can understand what these different areas are like and which one you should potentially stay in, with a couple suggestions on hotels coming up. Let's start with what I call the 4 key areas of Tulum. Let's bring up a map. The first thing to know is the Tulum Beach area. So this is what's considered Tulum Beach, and that's divided into North Tulum Beach and South Tulum Beach. And we'll talk about some of the difficulties of access for North Tulum Beach, which is new in Tulum. The next thing is Tulum Pueblo, or Tulum Town. Tulum Town is growing a lot. So there's Tulum Town, which is unique and different from La Valeta versus Aldea Zama. So these are kind of the different areas that you should consider staying in. A lot of people are like, what about all those really amazing resorts? Those all-inclusive resorts? Yeah, that's totally outside of Tulum, which is all good. But the first question to ask yourself is, what kind of vacation, what kind of an adventure are you trying to have in Tulum, and then back into where you stay to support that type of a vacation? Because each of these neighborhoods or resorts way outside of Tulum will offer a totally different experience, and that experience is only one that you can decide on for what's best for you. But if you're new here, I'm Christine Lozada with Where in the World is CL. I make travel videos every week to help you get up, get out, and go travel. I've been traveling to Tulum for years. I am totally over it. I am not going back, but this video is honestly for you, to help you be a smart traveler. I still want to help you be smart because a lot of people are still going to Tulum. If you want to find out why I am done with this place, find that in the description, as well as a lot of YouTube videos and tons of blog posts to help you be a smart traveler. Let's talk about the first neighborhood, which is Tulum Beach. If you're going to Tulum, especially in the months where there are no seaweed, it is a must to enjoy Tulum Beach. It's so beautiful. Again, it's divided into North and South Beach. So let's talk about North Beach Tulum, which has had a lot of changes. Why? Because they have now designated North Tulum Beach as a national park. There's 2 pros. One, the beaches are well taken care of. There's a little bit more of a paved road for a portion of North Tulum Beach, and it's just more taken care of. The second pro is your access to the ruins. So if you care about seeing the ruins in Tulum, you'll have easy access to that as well. The con, there is some weird stuff around accessing North Tulum Beach. What I mean by that is there's lots of construction happening right now and just a lot of confusion around how to drive around North Tulum Beach. The second thing is there are certain hours that you can enter. And so a lot of times you'll get stuck in traffic with police and security guards kind of allowing people in and out. In other words, after a certain time, only people staying in the hotels in that area are allowed to enter and exit. That's not a big deal if you're the only one in line, but what if you're the 20th car in line and each of you has to stop at the security guard? It's gonna take you forever to get back. And it also just creates a super weird, creepy, quiet, if that's your thing, vibe on North Tulum Beach. If you're staying at the hotels after dark, it's just a lot quieter over there, which might be your jam. So right now, North Tulum Beach feels a little bit sterile and odd, but definitely an option for a quieter stay. If I were to recommend 2 hotels, Mezzanine, such a vibe inside, really pretty. And the other one would be Amor. And one helpful thing, all of these, because Tulum is changing a lot and fast, are in the blog post that stays updated. So check that out in the description below. Then there's, to be honest, there's kind of like the middle of Tulum Beach, and then there's South Tulum Beach. People always ask me what's your favorite part of Tulum Beach? It's here, which is all in the blog post, so make sure you check that out. The vibey part of Tulum Beach, the pro of staying in this area, is that you're around all of those cool restaurants, those beach clubs, those places to just hang out at that are a total vibe to be at. It's what defines Tulum Beach for me. The con, this area tends to be a lot louder. Obviously, the more south you go, the quieter it will be, the more secluded it will be. So if that's your vibe, you might want to consider that. But also, the more south you are on Tulum Beach, being more secluded means it's not as easy to get back or get around. And yeah, I know it doesn't seem like it's that far, but depending on the traffic, getting up in Tulum Beach can be super fast, so easy. And other times it can be a complete nightmare. And so depending on, again, the adventure, the travel, the vacation you're looking for, choose your location wisely. The hotels that I recommend, if it's more of like in that middle section, then Papaya Playa project. They have really cool beach club parties and themed parties. Another one would be Azulik. I mean, if you want the true Tulum experience with the con of the high prices and not the best amenities in the world, you're essentially in a tree house, but you'll get all the vibes of Tulum. Azulik is a must. And then going a little bit more south on Tulum Beach, I mean, Ahau is really pretty, really great restaurant, obviously at Raw Love. And then you have Delek, where you'll find a lot more of the locals hanging out at the beach club, but they'll reserve a lot of those beach club beds for you. Delek, a lot of people love those rooms. And if I were to give you one last one, I mean, a staple on Tulum Beach would be Kanan. It's been there for a long time. Hit those swings in the front. It's such a vibe to hang out at that beach club also. None of these are inexpensive. I'll put that out there. Let's talk about Tulum Town or Tulum Pueblo, which is my personal preference. Although if I'm honest, all of my trips, I split a portion of them on the beach and then a portion of them in town so I can have access to different things. Tulum Town gets you to all the amazing cenotes, Muyil, going to Sian Khan, going to the secret cenote, going to a lot of adventures that are out there. And so Tulum Town is growing significantly. There's a lot of new stuff and it's expanding all the time. Tons of construction all over Tulum, but also especially in Tulum Town. The pro of Tulum Town is that you get to experience a little bit more of the culture. You'll be mixed in with the locals and you'll get a lot more variety of types of restaurants, both, touristy and expensive to local and inexpensive. You'll have access to just being able to jump off to more of tours that you can take around Tulum. And the best pro about it is that you get a variety of prices. You can find nice and expensive things in Tulum Town, but you can also find nice and budget-friendly or totally affordable places in Tulum Town. The con is that it's annoying to get to the beach from Tulum Town, in my opinion. It depends on how you're doing it. Watch the How to Get Around Tulum video for that. But it just depends on what kind of vacation you're looking for. So maybe that's not a con. There are two places that I recommend that I've tried in Tulum Town, and it kind of depends on what kind of a traveler you are. I tried the new Selina downtown. I would say I give it a thumbs neither up nor down. If you're a normal hostel stayer, it's a great option for you. I'm a hotel stayer, so it was not my favorite. There's a full video on that, link in the description below. But I also stayed at Live Tulum, which is more of like apartment hotel. It's like a lot larger with kitchens and stuff like that. Location-wise within Tulum Town, it's kind of whatever, but Tulum Town can be loud if you're staying right in the heart of downtown, which I've also done before. But these are two options to consider. I put them in the full blog post. I'm going to ask for this now because this next set of opinions on Aldea Zama and La Valeta are probably going to get me a lot of hate. If you gain some value out of this video, cheers that like button, consider subscribing. Hey, if you have a helpful tip, add it in the comments below. We're all a community. Don't forget that the blog post stays updated, and there's also exclusive content with a lot of helpful additional tips in there that
you should know about before you go to Tulum.
Let's talk about Aldea Zama. As you're listening to this next part, you got to ask yourself, what kind of a traveler, what kind of vacation are you looking for? Because Aldea Zama might be for you if you want to feel like you never left the US. It is under construction, and you'll find a pro for some people might be that they love the new luxury developments that are there. Nicer places to stay that are brand spanking new. Paved roads. That's kind of unheard of in Tulum in some parts. You'll find a lot of paved roads and new things. You'll find coffee shops that prefer you paying card over cash. You'll find tons of Botox, tons of Lululemon, tons of people that make me feel like I'm back in the burbs of the places I used to live in. It just feels incredibly sterile. The con, maybe that's the con for you, but a lot of times places in Aldea Zama will claim to be steps from the beach. Unless they're talking about 20 to 30,000 steps, you're not steps from the beach. So just be aware of that. The next thing is, and this might be a pro or a con for you, it just will feel, again, very sterile, but you won't have local experiences out there. I spent a lot of time just biking around Aldea Zama, just looking. Did a lot of yoga classes out there. Anyway, there's no locals that are out there. So if you're looking for local experiences, it's just not the place for that. One thing you'll love is that it has the Tulum aesthetic. So as they're building this new construction, it's got that Tulum vibe. It's a little bit sterile, but it's got that vibe. The other thing to know about Aldea Zama is that it's huge. It's really, really big. And so I've stayed on the outskirts, newer properties that have opened up. One of them to consider, for example, is the Aloft Hotel. I stayed there. That was a really cool spot. These are at more US prices, but for Tulum will give you access to Tulum and the Tulum vibe in some parts. I also tried the Motto, and there are videos on both of these. Again, these are kind of a stay if you're someone who doesn't really want the full like rustic Tulum experience, but wants access to the things around Tulum. So those are on the outskirts, and then recommendations as you're going in, you'll find also at the entrance the new Kimpton Aluna Hotel. That's one to consider that a lot of people are enjoying. Their restaurants get really high reviews. And then, I had an opportunity to stay for free at the Secrets Resort, and I said no. Why? It's really in there, and it just feels really sterile. And it's definitely a place that you go to not be in Tulum, but just to hang out at a resort. But this is a really great option for people who want that 5-star resort being in Tulum. Unlike all of the other resorts that claim to be in Tulum, this one is in Tulum. And so Secrets Resort might be for you if that's the type of vacation you're looking for. I have got no judgment, but one other thing is that there's a cenote in Aldea Zama. I was curious to check it out. You'll find the pretty water in there, but there's just a lot of construction around. And also, before we talk about La Valeta, there's a con of both Aldea Zama and La Valeta, which is the taxi situation. So a lot of people are like, I'm staying at this place. It's so inexpensive. It's brand new. It's so nice. And it's really in there, and you're relying on taxis. And so just something to be aware of. Most people will save on their accommodations and then break the bank, because if there's one thing that happens to everybody in Tulum, aside from getting mosquito bites, it's that you'll be scammed by taxis. And so just being aware of that and making sure you have maybe another type of transportation. I love e-bikes, for example, to help you get around is something to consider. Watch the How to Get Around Tulum video if you want more on that. All right, let's talk about La Valeta, which will feel far. What's cool, a pro, is that there's a new beach road. There's a new beach road that will cut through La Valeta that will take you to town and to beach.
Man, the new Tulum Beach Road, I had high expectations. I don't know why I had any high expectations. There are all these signs everywhere that say bicycles are the priority. There's no sidewalks. There's kind of a bike lane, and I don't feel like a priority. Biking on this road sucks, in my opinion. It's better than some of the other roads, though. I will say that.
I'm not surprised that they didn't do a good job building this road. If you are biking on this road, it will feel like a death sentence. At least it did for me. But you do have the option for the new beach road. But La Valeta is, again, sterile and up and coming. It's more up and coming than Aldea Zama, meaning a lot of the roads are not yet paved. So a lot of tourists will rent a car and then be bumping around on this road, or if it rains, just be careful around La Valeta. A lot of people get stuck in there. That was the case for some of the people I was traveling with on a previous trip. A pro, there's a new street, Calle 7. It's cool. There's it's a vibey, tiny little street with a bike lane. It also has some cool shops and some cool restaurants. I went and hung out at one of the wine bars that were over there. It doesn't feel like you're in Tulum, but those are options available to you. Some of the spots do feel local and like you're in Tulum, but not the wine bar. So Calle 7 was kind of a vibe. And also I looked into hotels because I genuinely wanted to stay in La Valeta. I wanted to try it. I wanted to be able to talk about what it was like staying there. And so I spent a lot of time biking from hotel to hotel to go does it actually look like the vibey pictures that I'm looking at? Because again, one of the pros of La Valeta, wow, so affordable, so inexpensive. And so some of the places I looked at, Era was one of them, Strabon, I don't even know how to pronounce these things, Strabon. Both of these places, when I actually went, I was like, oh man, this is like a creepy vibe. It may have just been the time and day that I was there, but I did not stay there. A lot of people love staying at Holistika. It's in there, it's really in there. You need to have a plan for how you're getting around Tulum if you're staying at that spot. But the bottom line, aside from Calle 7, is that it's very far. It feels desolate, but the pro is that it's inexpensive. If you have something helpful, add it in the comments. I'm Christine Lozada. Don't miss out on all the blog posts, especially this one that stays updated, as well as the full YouTube playlist. I'll see you in the next adventure. Ciao.